Welcome to Victorious Voices. What is Victorious Voices? Victorious Voices is about credible messengers, individuals that have been impacted by the justice system. We're individuals that could build trust, rapport, de-escalate violence in the community, culture, proficiency, and we have access to the shared lived experience participants that we worked with. Our quote for the day: the credible messenger movement has legs and we're running with it. So I want to introduce Second Chance Will.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you putting me on the show. It's been a great opportunity just to be a part of your organization, to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's do a check-in, man.
All right, let's do it.
Your name, how you feeling, and in one word, what does credible messenger mentorship mean to you?
Okay, all right. So my name is Will, Second Chance Will, and I feel fantastic. I feel excited. I feel blessed. I feel so many things, but those are just at the top of my list right now. And then one word. I thought about this. I really thought about this. This is a good question. So one word is necessary.
That's excellent. My name is Arturo. I feel compassionate, motivated. This ain't even a feeling, but I'm feeling like advocacy, connecting with the individuals that I need to connect with so we could spread this movement forward. So Will, tell us about these challenges in the community.
So there's a lot of challenges in the community with the youth right now. Growing up in Southeast, so I'll speak specifically to Southeast, and because I go inside of juvenile hall, I get to see kids from Upper County, like Oceanside and Vista, in those areas, and also East County, El Cajon, and East Dago. Well, I know as East Dago, right? And so what I see, the challenges are, one, the gangbanging, and for the young ladies, the prostitution. That's a big challenge, and those things that are going on right now, there's a lot more money. So it's hard to tell a kid don't do this or don't do that when they feel like they're getting all this money. So that's something that we have to contend with, that I feel like we are contending with the most, trying to tell them to live a better life, but they're getting all this money. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
And what I've seen from my perspective since 2006, 2007, all the data proves the mental health component has been on a rise. COVID-19, during that era, everybody was doing shoe terms, youth, individuals, and families, solitary confinement. And we all know that that could have an impact on the individual. Right. When I was incarcerated, the impact that it had on me was that system-induced trauma and inhumane isolation, torture. And to this day, I consistently work on myself. And so the challenges that I've seen in East San Diego, City Heights, Southeast communities is in the school systems. The mental health has skyrocketed. What I'm noticing is the wannabes wanting to be a part of something, wanting to be a part of a belonging of a gang. And they're finding it in all these different gangs and different groups. And it might just be 3 or 4 of them, but they're creating these gangs, and they're just wanting to be a part of something. Challenges that I've seen is the substance abuse, the pills, the drugs, the fentanyl challenges. I've seen the social media of individuals are living someone else's lives, and they're doing gangbanging on social media, which is crazy. Right. Like in our era, it was a little different, right?
Big difference.
Big difference. Yeah. In my era, it was more like, okay, there was no social media involved. It was just the territorial gangbanging, and that's how we got wrapped up in the system. But now people are gangbanging these youth on bullying and this. I'm from here, and bullying on an individual, and that could have an impact on the individual that they're doing that to, right?
Right.
So there goes the mental health. What challenges have you seen on the adult side?
On the adult side, acceptance. That's a big challenge that I see. Just speaking for myself, so I wanted to get into a new field at one point, and I wanted to get into social work. I wanted to reach out to the youth. That was my passion. That's what I wanted to do, but I didn't know the best avenue to get into that. So I found, what was it called? Behavioral therapy, right? And so with behavioral therapy, we're dealing with autistic children, and that was the opening for me. It wasn't my first population that I wanted to help, but it was kids. So I knew I just wanted to deal with the youth, and then I could move forward from there. But when you asked about the challenges, when I gave them my background, and mind you, the background should only go 10 years, right? It's if unless you committed certain crimes, your background, California law, you only go 10 years. Now, the crime that I committed, yes, I committed a crime. I was incarcerated for 16 years from the age of 17 all the way up to 34. And so for 10 years, 18 years went by, and it took 2 months for my background check to come back. And I got the job, I'm working, I'm doing everything. And they said, now all of a sudden, oh, we can't hire you because of your background. And I'm being held to that standard as a 17-year-old boy. So that's like one of the biggest issues we face as a population
Oh,
of
wow.
formerly incarcerated.
Yeah, wow. And speaking on that, and earlier on the quote is the credible messenger movement has legs, and we're running with it, right? And so now we're like in a space where that's a prison for me also, right? And so, we staff 22 individuals with lived experience through the juvenile system, adult system. Some have violent felonies, and most are lifers. And these lifers, like, in order to be paroled by the board, you got to work on yourself, right?
Right.
And so how did that look for you, man, when you paroled?
Well, I didn't have life. I had a determinate sentence. I was sentenced to 21 years in prison for voluntary manslaughter and a gang enhancement. And mind you, under the laws back then, I was culpable. I was felony murder. I was there, so you did it also. Even though they knew I did not pull the trigger, even though they knew there were 7 people there and 1 gun, they still said every single one of you guys are guilty as the shooter. So just having that on my jacket originally was difficult, right? But when I came home, it was, well, I just want to be accepted for me. I don't want to keep being judged by, the crime that was committed because I did the work, and luckily there was a new law that came out, SB 260, which means that if you were under 18, you had the ability to go to board soon. Even if you had a determinate sentence, you can go to board. So because of that, I went to groups, and I started to go to school, and I started to gain insight into the things that I was thinking about. And because I had that insight, because I was going to these groups, I started to form new thought processes that said, these men are not my enemies. This is not what I want to do. This is not the right way of doing things. And I'm a better man than what I was.
So you worked on your process in the institution and then came out to the community.
100%. Change does not start when the gate opens up.
That's right. And for me, my process was a little different because I was in segregated housing units and in institutions and slammed down, right? And so I didn't have the opportunity to receive these classes, the personal development. And now it's a little different. Everybody's receiving the resource in the institutions. But the first time that I was able to receive that resource, I paroled on AB 109, compassionate probation officer, put a plan together. They mandated all these like trainings and 8 groups a week. And I was like, you know what? I'm ready for change, but I don't know about doing these classes. Guess what? When I started working on myself, going to these classes, the criminal addictive thinking, the behaviors, the quick excitement, not passing judgment, I was like, bling, 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 bling. That's me, that's me, that's me. And I began my process. So for me, it was a little different. And then just becoming an advocate out here in the community and working with the population. Credible messengers, hiring credible messengers, working with that specific population. One thing I love about youth empowerment is that we're a diverse staff. We have brothers from Southeast, the West Coast, City Heights, Asians, Latinos. It's a mixture of different cultures. How does that feel for you, man?
To be a part of youth empowerment, it feels amazing. To be a part of everything that I've been a part of since coming home has been nothing short of amazing. I always say the life that I'm living right now, you couldn't script it, and if you did, it would definitely be an incredible movie. Like I could not have expected the growth, the potential, the people I've met, since I've come home. I've only been home 2 years, right? And within that 2 years, not only do I work at youth empowerment, being able to give back to the population that I hold so dear to my heart, the youth and formerly incarcerated, but I had the chance to start a program myself through the gym that I work at. And that program gives free memberships to formerly incarcerated individuals with the mandated 2 times a week support groups. So 2 times a month support groups. So it's not enough just come work out. And we believe working out can be your catalyst to change, right? That's how fitness can be your catalyst to change. Improve your body, improve your mind, improve your life.
And I'm all about, I want to tell you a little story. Like, I go into juvenile hall, I work with several kids there that have 707s and violence, and I go in there and support them through the public defender's office, and I'm always checking in on the mentors from the youth perspective, right? And all the words that I receive from the youth is, man, they dig you, man. They love you. You're motivated. You hold them accountable. You have direct conversation with them. And so that high energy, motivational factor that you have, it works. And it's coming from the voice of the youth. So I just wanted to highlight that.
No, man.
And
Appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. One other thing, before we get to some solutions, what's your prison, man? Like, what is your prison?
My prison at this time, honestly, I feel like I've broken all chains, right? I feel like I've broken all chains. I don't feel like there's anything holding me back but me, right? But my prison before, a lot of people, assumed that prison was my prison. But no, I was in prison way before they ever put chains on me, and my prison was my negative way of thinking, my gang mindset, I've always been a leader, but then I led people to do wrong, right? I needed something to gravitate towards, and that was the street. The street gave me something that I was missing at home, that family that I felt like I needed at home that was missing. And that became my prison. That mindset was my prison. So once I was able to free myself from that mindset while I was incarcerated, that's when I became free.
That's exciting, man. For myself, what is my prison?
Well, yeah, I mean, because with Post P Chronicles, Post P is post prison, and everyone's prison isn't 4 walls and a sink. So like I said, this is my prison. What is your prison?
So my prison was similar like yours, just being in institutions, leadership roles, slam down, like just manipulating, scheming. That was my life. That's what I did for a living while I was in there. And honestly, that was a gift. Right. And so I ended up turning that prison into something now beautiful. CEO of Youth Empowerment, helping people, not manipulating, being honest, transparent, helping support communities. And so in this process of working with the credible messengers and having all these different collaborations with systems, we're talking about U.S. Attorney's Office, the state, federal, probation, county, being in the school systems, representing credible messengers, right? So this was my prison back then. And then now I've been out past a decade, 10 years, and we're doing great work. But the measurement for us individuals that had this experience, like, yes, you've been 2 years out, right? I think the hurdle comes out like, what are you doing after 10 years? Where are you at after 10 years? And so for me doing this work into the community, now my prison is, I always got to explain myself, man. Even though I've been out here in the community for 10 years, doing great work, not just talking about it, having data that actually supports the work. And so I'm consistently have to explain myself, not only explain to myself, but explain my mentors' backgrounds, right? And I don't even like calling them my mentors. It's more of a, I'm sorry I use that word. It's us, a collaborative. We're working, we're moving forward, right? And so that's my prison right now. And I'm figuring that process out. And that advocacy component is more filling my heart and my desires and my passions, and yes, doing the work, but how can we get into some type of policy change that helps support that challenge you talked about, where like you were accused of a crime after 10 years, you're not supposed to be bringing it up, right?
Right.
But you find yourself going back in time and living like you were a 17-year-old. So that's my prison currently. What am I doing for a solution for that? Being a strong advocate. How about you, Will? What are you doing to bring a solution to your prison?
again, my prison was my mindset. And so what I'm doing is trying to free the youth from their mindset, the same mindset that I had. Right. And even to what you just said, this prison of always having to explain ourselves, like that's just the nature of the beast right now. And so how do we do it? By being those credible messengers, by doing the work. We know there's a hurdle right there. We know these are walls that we either have to go around, we got to run through or go over it, but we don't stop in front of it. That's one thing we can't do. We have to keep doing the work. And so that's what we're going to do. We're just going to keep doing the work, and it's going to work.
That's right. It's going to work. And what does that mean? Like for credible messengers, man, we have trust, rapport. We're out in the community. We're doing the right thing when no one's looking. And so, yeah, we have a different personality, a different swag, right? The way we conduct ourselves, and it's our culture, how we were brought up. But when we're doing the work with the kids, the youth, the individuals and families, we're doing some great work. And when you're doing great work in the community, guess what? Then other people start talking. So that's just I'm just venting a little bit, but the corporate world is a little bit different. But I want to get back on track. What are some solutions for the challenges that we talked about earlier?
I mean, again, these are the solutions, making connections, showing people, like every time one of us, someone who is formerly incarcerated, ascends to new heights, new levels, breaks new barriers, then that paves a way for those behind us. That paves a way. Real quick, I was on this flight with a woman, right? I was on my way to Africa. It was a 14-hour flight, and I'm talking to this older woman, and she's talking about people in prison and how they shouldn't be fed, how they shouldn't, what I'm saying? That was her perspective. Now I could have got upset. I'm like, hey, lady, I was in prison. I was hungry. I need, I need to eat, right? But instead, before she even knew I was ever in prison, because we're having this conversation, we start to talk, and I start to ask her questions. I start to challenge her beliefs, right? And she starts to enjoy conversing with me, right? And then later on, towards the end of that conversation, she's like, do you know somebody? I said, well, I was incarcerated, right? And so once I told her I was incarcerated, and I wasn't upset with her because of all of these different things she said.
Wow.
No, now she won't leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? So now,
you guys continue the relationship.
We continue the relationship after that, because I was the credible messenger, I was the example. So every time we just are us, our best self, then that changes the perception of everyone after us.
That's the solution, man. And life is about relationships. And we've worked hard in creating these relationships that are established, and the solutions for the community, right? The mental health that we talked about, and all the challenges with the kids, the youth, the families. I believe is credible messengers. It's the mentorship, the connection to them, building that rapport, and working with that evidence-based curricula that we're trained in, and delivering that message. And our strategy and our gift is we're able to connect. Like, how fast do you connect with a kid when you connect with them, when you see them for the first time?
Honestly, man, I just feel like I just have this, I've been blessed with the ability to connect.
You just got almost superpower gift.
And it's not me. You know what I'm saying? It's not me. And
it is you, man.
This person. But I'm just like, man, I've been blessed. Everybody has a talent. Everybody has something that's so unique to them, and that's unique to me. My ability to connect with people from older to younger is just something that I can get on that level, and we just click. And so my ability to connect with kids is just innate, honestly.
It is, and you can see it, and the kids could see it. And so we're not saying that we're the part of the only solution, but like, what's the wraparound service to that? Like, we bring the credible messenger, the mentorship, the lived experience, but there's also other needs: housing, therapy, other needs for that individual. So we're not saying like we doing it all. We need some support, some partnerships and collaborations that's going to help support the process.
Definitely.
What do you think about therapy, man?
I'm a big advocate of therapy in my community, and I know in the Black and brown community, especially. I'll speak to mine specifically. We don't do all that talking. Oh, talking to who? What? No, we don't do that. So we just, bottle all that up. And then what happens? It explodes at some point. And so I'm big on talking. I went to therapy when I came home, because even though I felt like I didn't have any residual effects of prison, I knew that there's so many things that I didn't know. I was gone for so long. And so I just wanted to talk out a lot of things and learn. And the power of that helped me avoid some of the pitfalls that I saw others in my circumstance go through, that I was able to avoid just by talking.
Yes. And I'm a big fan of therapy too, man. Like I haven't been in the last 6-8 months, but every year I'll check in, I'll get me a therapist and talk about the same thing you're talking about, like all our past challenges, where we're at, how we're moving forward. And it goes into Latino culture as well. Like no one likes talking to anybody, and you can't even express a feeling within the Latino. I'm talking about like our culture, even my family to this day. It's hard for my mama to say, I love you. Because her mama didn't tell her, like, I love you. I'll sit by my mom and purposely be like, hey, mama, I love you. And she gets like this. She doesn't know how to act. And she gets all uncomfortable. But that's what we need to do. We need to make everyone uncomfortable. Right? Because of uncomfortableness and conflict, we have resolution and growth.
Definitely.
So you kind of like cut up, man, and all, like every time I look at you, man, like I'm starving. I need to get there, man. And I know you're busy on personal training. You're doing like great things in the community, but what's some solutions on this physical wellness with the population that we're serving?
So again, I believe that fitness is, motivation to change. That's what I believe in. When I was young, I worked out and it was a good outlet. When I was in prison, when we're stressed out, when we're mad, hey, man, I'm about to go to the bars, say I'm about to hit some burpees. I'm about to put my headphones on and work out, and it worked. And even, with the youth, what I like to say is you can have enemies from the wrong neighborhood, but they're on the same football team. What do you think they're going to do? They're going to work together. One is the quarterback, one is the receiver. They're going to work together. So fitness brings people together. Right. And when you sweat together, when you cry together, you end up together. Right. So that's what I believe. And I know that you have, we're at the YMCA, and with me, I'm at the gym Chula Vista, and, I just became the general manager over there. And so I'm really, really big on fitness.
Wait, man. Like, congratulations, man.
Thank you.
Okay, 2 years out, becoming a general, manager. What's the name of the
the gym Chula Vista, 323rd Avenue. I told you you can't write this. You can't script this story. You can't script a better story. It's been amazing. It's truly been amazing.
Wow. Okay. And so you work out with kids, the youth, the population?
Yeah, so I work out with kids at the gym. I work out with the kids. I work out with older people. I work out with everybody. Honestly, I'm always working out. I'm working out 2-3 times a day. It's just what I do. I love it. I love it because I know how important it is. It's therapy for me. Even if I'm not working out, like lifting weights or, doing something, I'm playing basketball, I'm running, I'm hiking, my body is moving.
Yeah.
That's the important thing. Move, just move.
Just move.
Just move.
Just move. And for me, it's physical wellness is therapy as well. It was part of my life while I was in prison, working out, consistent routine, 5 days out the week. And so now coming out into the community, when I don't do it, I'll go months without doing it. And I could just feel different, like my mind, my mindset, and where I'm at. And, I started again, like doing my physical wellness. What I've seen at the YMCA with the population that were working there, they're starting to work out in groups, and 4 of these and 4 of them, and the staff, they're working out, and you could see the physical wellness component, how they feel, the laughter, the posture, like how they conduct themselves. And that's that physical wellness energy, right? And so I'm a big advocate of physical wellness. Well, Second Chance Will, it was a pleasure having you on the show, Victorious Voices. What you think, man? What's your perspective?
My perspective is this is not only wanted, it's needed. We need these voices. We need these credible messengers. We need these opportunities to go into these schools, to go into juvenile halls, to be a part of the community at large so that these kids can see another way.
Thank you. And we're going to close it out with a check-in. Your name, how you feeling, and in a sentence, what's a long-term goal that you have?
Okay, my name is Will, Second Chance Will, during Second Chance Month. I love it. I feel appreciative for being on this show, for being a part of youth empowerment, for being blessed with the opportunities that I've been blessed with. And then one sentence, one goal. I want to change the world.
Whew, that's deep. My name's Arturo. I feel motivated, compassionate, joyful, peaceful. I'm glad that we had the opportunity to do Victorious Voices together. And in a sentence, long-term goal would be creating more opportunities for credible messengers in the central region. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.